It is Elisa here, or the Diamond Stitcher as I go by on YouTube and Instagram. Hello, welcome if you are new. I hope you would consider subscribing and sticking around for all things diamond painting. And if you're returning, thank you so much for your continued support. You know it means a lot to me, so thank you. I have been trying to film this WIP and Chat for a couple of weeks, and I just keep not doing it. It is early on a Sunday. It's before 7 a.m. and I thought, you know what? Why don't I see if I can film some sort of WIP and Chat before my husband wakes up? And so here we are. Now, I was working on a diamond painting that had from Diamond Art Club that had a witch in it. I think the name of the painting is Haunted, if I'm remembering correctly. However, last time Mom was here, she stole it and gave me this one to work on. I've got it covered in parchment because she actually took the whole plastic cover off and covered it in these little release papers, which I absolutely hate, because if you've ever done that yourself, you know that the corners will start rolling up and it's just a mess. So I put my nonstick parchment paper on most of it, and I am working on this one row here with release papers. This is a huge diamond painting. It's, what is it? It's, I think, I have it here, 97 by 70 centimeter diamond painting. I'm not gonna say which one it is because it is a surprise. And she was struggling with it because it's square. She's a relatively new diamond painter, and she has problems seeing the squares and getting them exactly straight. So she was really finding it frustrating to work on it and wasn't having fun. So I decided to give her my witch one, and she gave me this one. And my hope is I can finish this for her. However, I usually do not do diamond paintings this big. I myself find them overwhelming, and they're very difficult to manage in my diamond painting space. I usually diamond paint on the couch where I can prop my arms up and support my neck and everything so I can actually diamond paint. But this one is so big, it's really hard to manage on that little table, and I find myself getting really mad. So this morning we are on the coffee table. I am hoping the camera angle is good enough. I also don't have my light pad down here, so I hope I don't have to kind of duck my head into the screen in order to see some of these symbols. But I wanted to get a WIP and Chat up and update y'all, because I find the longer I go without doing it, then there's too much to talk about and I don't know where to start, right? So yeah, here we are on a Sunday morning trying to film a WIP and Chat. You may hear it in my voice. I kind of sound a bit low energy or a bit down. I am. Last night, actually, I did not sleep well at all. I think I was up every 10 to 15 minutes, tossing and turning, and so much pain that I could not sleep. And that's not too common anymore. Usually I can sleep. I have to take something to help me sleep, but usually I can sleep and I wake up in pain, but it doesn't keep me up all night. But last night it did. My neck and my arm are just all angry at once, and I just did not sleep well. So one, I'm very tired. My first cup of coffee did not work. That being said, I should maybe pour myself another cup of coffee. Maybe I'll do that in a second. Anyway, so if I sound, you know, a bit blah, I'm sorry, but when you deal with a lot of chronic health problems, especially chronic pain or chronic syndromes that have a lot of symptoms that present, there comes a time when there is no more masking. You know, early on I could put a happy face on and go to work or go out in the world, and nobody would know how much pain I was in. But now it's all over my face. You can tell. You can tell. I get those looks at the grocery store, like sympathy and, oh, that poor girl. You hear people whispering and stuff. I just cannot hide it anymore. So, yeah, that's me. That's the authentic me, right? Before I go and get another cup of coffee, I pulled out a few things to use. Now, I'm using these. These are the old containers I used to use before I started cutting up into baggies. I got these at Michael's. They're actually nice big round containers, and I put the numbers on them. So that one's missing the sticker, but I just bought sticker numbers from Amazon and labeled them 1 to 70, I think, is how many I got at the time. I think they came in a pack of 12, so maybe 72. Anyway, I don't use these anymore. I actually gave these to Mom to use, and I've been kitting up into baggies. But since she already started this diamond painting and kit up, she left me her containers, and I'm just going to work out of them because I don't want to kit it up again when it's already kit up. So I'm working on that. This little minder I brought out because the colors in it match this diamond painting perfectly. This is one of my little dragon minders from Agnes Little Minders. She makes needle minders that can also be used as cover minders. She hand makes these from scratch. Every part of this is handmade, hand painted, hand, you know, the ombre effect is hand, I don't know what you call it, but everything's made by hand and it has very strong magnets on it. So I have a few of these. They're special purchase. They are expensive, but usually for my birthday or something, I'll order one and my husband will give it to me, right? How it usually works when you're older. This pen I actually pulled out for the other painting, but I'm just going to continue using it because I don't use it a lot. It's a Donna Bass pen, and it's a Grateful, I think it's called Grateful Pop blank. He puts all sorts of weird things in blanks and makes them really pretty. And this one, I don't know if it's going to show up in the camera. It might. There's a ring of really pretty opal there. I don't know if I said Donna Bass turned this. And I love this pen. I've got my DAC 6-placer, which I'm really loving as a multi-placer. I'm really liking these more just because they are thinner. And I've put some new to me putty in it from J&L Crafty Creation. That's a Canadian small shop in Ontario. They recently rebranded, and I'm probably going to put that small shop haul up before this. But I have her putty in here, and so far I'm really liking it. I feel like it has the same kind of qualities that I like of Randa's Crafty Corner, which is a USA small shop. So I'm really happy. I have to use it a bit more to really give an honest review. But so far I'm liking it. And then my little bent single placer is from Everlasting Tips, which is an Australian small shop, and I put glue dots in it. And my Mooney Made tray, I just grabbed a white tray because I want to be able to see my diamonds this morning. I want to make it as easy as possible. And of course, I don't have the light pad down here because I'm not going to move it and get an extension cord and get put that much effort into it. So I'm going to try to do my best without putting my, here, I'm trying to see how far I can bend my head forward without getting into the camera. So I think I could probably single place this okay while I talk to you guys. Now, I am going to get coffee. I will be right back. Okay, I am back. Now, I don't even know where to start. Let me actually pour some diamonds in my tray. I'm just looking. Where's my little, oh, it's down here. 21. I just need a few colors here. Let me do this, and then I will talk. Hold on. You may also hear the cat. As always, she wants my husband awake, and she is making it known that she's not happy. I also don't have my mic on today. It's in the bedroom, and I don't want to go in there. So hopefully the volume is okay. Now, where do I even begin? I think the last time let's do X. Let me get a diamond first. Do you ever find whenever you have to move your diamond painting space when you're not where you usually are, everything is a little bit harder? That's what I find. So let me shake some of these diamonds so I can actually do a WIP and Chat. So I think I left off 2 weeks ago, and 2 weeks ago is when I started a pain crisis started again. Now you might think, Abby, come on, not so loud. And she talks back to me just like a dog would. Now she's coming over here. Abby, shush. You might feel like I'm always in a pain crisis, and that's kind of true. Because I have my neck, my left arm, and my right arm. So usually one of them is angry. Angry is another word for a flare-up, a temporary worsening of symptoms. angry is just, I don't know, an easy way to say what's explained to somebody who doesn't know what a pain crisis is. It's just angry. I think people can visualize when your body's angry at you, what that might mean. So yeah, I wrote down on that day, I had pain crisis, but I didn't say what, where that was. But I had a pain crisis. I actually couldn't sleep that night, and Mom had to come over, and it was just like I was a kid again. She kind of put me to sleep, consoled me, and just, you know, comforted me enough that I could actually fall asleep. And she just sat here watching TV while I was napping. And every time I'd wake up screaming, she'd kind of calm me down and I'd fall back asleep. So when my pain prevents me from sleeping, it's really hard for me to function. Especially if it's multiple days. The first night of no sleep, usually I can manage okay. If it happens one more night, I'm a little more irritable, I'm a little grumpy. I usually will nap in the afternoon. And if it's a third day of pretty high pain levels, I wouldn't say I become delusional, but I become hard to console. Like, I'm very teary, I'm very irritable, very anxious, and if it's a fourth day, then I usually go into the hospital for some help, because usually it doesn't go to the fourth day. It hasn't gone to the fourth day for a long time. Usually it's day 3 days when it's really bad. So like last night, I was awake every 20 minutes or so because of the pain. So now I'm anxious because this is what I consider night 1. Now I'm going to be anxious all day and all night, hoping I sleep good, because if I don't, then I know tomorrow's going to be bad. And then I have the anxiety of waiting for the third day. It's just an awful cycle. I think this time I lifted something too heavy for me. I was trying to be a superhero and went over my lifting limit, and now my arm is very angry. My hand is actually going numb right now, just sitting here on the table. My fingers are all tingly. And yesterday, I think, was it yesterday or the day before, that I filmed a couple small shot videos, and during that my arm kept going dead. It kept going completely numb. So my arm is really angry, which I'm anxious for, because I actually have a procedure tomorrow. I guess I'm kind of skipping ahead. What else happened? Let me just look. I have a little journal where I started writing things in. I'm just looking, hold on. Yeah, a lot of it is just pain, and 2 weeks ago is when we had some cold weather come in. It's been a relatively warm past month or two. Lots of sun and warmth. Nothing like, I think, you guys in the States experience, but for us it's been warm. And my body likes that. It doesn't do well in cold weather, because if you didn't know, when it's cold, the atmosphere pressure changes, and we have these little receptors in our body called baroreceptors, and when the atmosphere pressure changes, it impacts those baroreceptors in our body. And so for me, it makes all my syndromes worse. I have dysautonomia, which is dysfunction of the automatic nervous system, which shows itself as central apnea and POTS, temperature dysregulation, and probably other things that I'm just not thinking of right now. But yeah, so the cold weather really, really affects me, and I've found ever since that cold day a couple weeks ago, I just find I'm overly anxious about the fall coming, because it gets cold. And what affects me the most is when the temperature swings. So when we have a warm day, a cold day, a warm day, 2 cold days, 3 warm days, 1 cold day, like when it swings back and forth like that, which happens often, that's the hard part on my body, because the pressure in my body is constantly going up and down, up and down, up and down. If we have like a week or 2 of cold weather, my body will climatize and give it a couple of days, and then it won't be so bad. But it's the swinging that I find is the worst for me. So ever since that cold day came in a couple weeks ago, I've been overly anxious for fall, knowing that, you know, despite being in many pain crises and, you know, really struggling this summer, it's nothing compared to what happens in the cold weather. So I've just been kind of realizing, you know, my summer has been relatively stable for me. And I'm just worried about the fall because I am worse than I was last fall. So, yeah, it scares me. So I've kind of been preoccupied with that, but I'm trying to kind of go one day at a time. That's kind of how I deal with things. Is I don't think ahead. I don't think ahead till next week, or I try not to, I should say. I don't think ahead till next year and what we're going to do. I try and stay just in the day, because if I think ahead, it's just, that's where anxiety and worry comes in. And if you have putty like this and you notice it starts coming over the sides, I just take my finger and kind of wipe it away. I usually put it in my trash pot, but I don't have one, just so it doesn't stick to the glue. But that's common when you have putty and you're a hard presser like me, especially with these new Diamond Art Clip Square kits. You really got to push these diamonds into place. Putty will come out over the sides, so I just scoop it up, and sometimes I put it back in the place, or other times I just pull it out if it's excess. But anyway, that's a tangent. I'm just gonna take a sip of coffee. I'm trying to wake up here. That's the other thing that's been worse is my central apnea, where my brain doesn't tell my lungs to breathe. My numbers have been high, and I did confirm that I've been referred to a respirologist, but if you're Canadian, you know referrals to specialists take forever, so I'm concerned about that. I still seem to be getting, I don't know if it's quality sleep, but for the most part, even if those numbers are high, I seem to be sleeping okay. Like sleeping deep. And I think when I sleep deep is actually when my numbers actually go higher too, right? Because deeper the sleep, it just affects it. I'm gonna put this color here. Do you ever do that? You have, this is a very confetti heavy painting. I don't normally do landscapes either, but do you ever find when you have like just a couple drills in a spot, maybe you miss them, or maybe that's all that's in the section, and so you put a similar color over it because you don't want to take another color out? I do that all the time, and you can't tell. As far as I'm concerned, you can't tell. We were supposed to have a family barbecue on the 12th of August. I didn't go. I don't go to many family events. The only things I ever go to right now are my sister, and even then I have to like, I can't go a lot anymore just because I'm just so sick, and it takes a lot out of me, you know. If I have to do anything that's considered strenuous to me, going over for dinner at a family's house, or when we take my stepson to my in-laws, if I go, it's really strenuous on my body. At home, I have a setup where my whole body's supported, and it takes the stress off my body, and that's how I can keep my pain and discomfort at like bay, at stable, I guess, or comfortable. So when I have to go elsewhere, there's usually not a setup for me, right? So that stresses my body out. And then just the energy required to interact with people, I crash after. So I usually crash for 2 to 3 days, and that means like I'm basically a hibernating bear. I am so tired, and I just have zero energy. I don't even have energy to shower or wash my hair. even to have my husband wash my hair. I just don't. So any kind of like social activity like that, it just completely drains me. And that, along with having very high levels of pain and needing kind of my setup at home to manage that without having to take tons of medications, which I absolutely hate taking. I avoid a lot of things. My husband and I, we're both introverts, so he has a group of friends that he does music with, he makes music with, and maybe once a month or so he'll meet up with them. But otherwise, we don't really do much. We're homebodies. We've always been homebodies. You know, he works full time, and I used to work more than full time. I worked basically time and a half. That once we're home, we just want to stay home. We don't want to go out. Even for dinner, we just would rather order in. We just don't want to be out, you know. So it works out for us, but I wouldn't say it's a lonely life. I mean, I have him, I have my animals, and that's why I rely so much on the my online connections with all of you guys that I've met over the years. That really fills my social bucket. It's nice because when I need a rest, I can turn my phone off and not pay attention to it. And when I have some energy, I can come on and check messages and check comments, and you know, I can really control that, and it works well. But we don't have a lot of, you know, real life. We don't do much socially. He's exhausted and I'm exhausted and in pain, and we'd rather just stay home. But I don't like missing family stuff, you know. Family usually is always there for you no matter what happens, right? But even growing up, we didn't do much with family. It's kind of was just me and my parents and my sister and her family. And I mean, when I was younger, we used to always go to my aunt's for summer barbecues and birthdays and special holiday dinners. But as we all got older, I was the youngest, I was the baby. So as I got older, that stopped. And so I've always kind of been a stick to myself person. But I miss being able to just go when my sister has a family dinner or my aunt does a barbecue to just, you know, be like, yeah, I'll be there, I'll bring something. Whereas, especially this past year, I've really had to withdraw from things. And it's sad, but even like a car ride to my sister's, for example, is 45 minutes away, and that in itself, that's 45 minutes each way, and that in itself just drains me, even though I'm not driving. It's just, you know, the car is very uncomfortable for me. I usually have to wear my neck brace, so it's just very uncomfortable. So, you know, it's not as easy as just, you know, getting up and going. It's, you know, there's a lot that I have to factor in with things, you know. So that's hard. I missed that, which was unfortunate. I also had just kind of, I hope my head does not keep getting in frame here. I feel really bad if it is. Where's my, oh, there. I've had a lot of thoughts over the last few weeks too, just in general. I've been trying to look at some smaller diamond painting shops and what they offer, and I don't understand why people don't put renderings on their website. I understand that some shops offer like multiple sizes and square and round, and it's more difficult, but even having, you know, the most recommended size rendering up, I think is really helpful. If I go to a website, and there's a few that pop into mind, I'm not going to mention them, but all you see is the watermarked image. You don't see the rendering, and I don't want to buy a diamond painting if I can't see the rendering. And I don't think, like, you know, some of the shop owners have said, reach out to us and we'll show you the rendering, which is great that they do that, but why not just post it on your website? I think almost everybody would want to see a rendering before buying a diamond painting, because I think we've all made that purchase where we got it and we're like, that doesn't look very good, you know? So that's something. I don't understand why shops don't do that. And there is one shop that I reached out to with a few images saying, can I see the renderings? Because I don't like buying diamond paintings unless I know the renderings. And their response was, no, I trust my renderer. Well, that's all fine and dandy that you trust your renderer, but I haven't seen your diamond paintings. The ones that I've seen finished, I'm not sold on. So I would like to see the renderings in the image that I'm interested in so I know if it's going to turn out okay. And so I was surprised that she's just like, no, trust my renderer. I mean, it's great that she has faith, but I think we all have our own opinion on what makes a good rendering and what doesn't. You know, I really like how Diamond Art Club renders things because where I place my diamond paintings, you look at them close up, so their rendering style really suits it, whereas there's other people who prefer shops that have like super heavy confetti and kind of soft lines. Do you agree with me? You agree? Abby agrees with me, you guys. That have very super soft renderings, and people prefer that. Those paintings tend to look good from a far distance away. So I've done one of them and hung it up in the bathroom, and I just did not enjoy looking at it because it didn't look good close up. So we all have our idea of what rendering looks good, but I feel like if I was a shop owner, that's something I would want on my website is the rendering, so people could see, you know, if you buy this diamond painting in this size, this shape, this is what it's going to look like. Especially shops that offer rounds and squares. I've noticed, at least the one shop I looked at recently, if you choose round or square, the size remained the same. Now I know from the way Diamond Art Club does things, when they've offered a painting in both shapes, their round diamond painting is actually a bit bigger in dimension because rounds don't show as much detail, so the picture needs to be a little bit bigger in order for the components of the image not to look blurry and muddled and that, right? So I know that when you're choosing shapes, usually your round one needs to be a little bit bigger. And some of these shops I noticed that it's not. You just choose your shape and the size stays the same. So I'm concerned about that. That's also another reason why I want to see the rendering, right? Just looking for my next color. I think my husband might be waking up, so there might be some noise. I might actually pause this, wait till he makes his coffee, and then sits down and might restart it, but we will see. That could have been the cat making the noise. I'm just seeing how long I've been talking for. Let me take another sip of coffee. What else did I have written down? Oh yeah, kind of a random back to me. I had a test recently and we found out that my diaphragm is still partially paralyzed, so the right side of my lung is not working. It doesn't inflate like the other one. I'm gonna try and insert a photo to show you what that means. So basically my right lung, the top part of my lung gets air, but the bottom part doesn't. No air enters there because the diaphragm isn't working. So it can't, usually when you breathe, your diaphragm pulls down and allows the lungs to expand. But because my diaphragm on the right's not working, it doesn't do that. So yeah, it's still fully paralyzed. It hasn't healed at all. Now they've told me, and I know from, you know, talking to other patients, it can take well up to 12 months for that diaphragm to heal. I'm only, what are we, April, May, June, July, August, 4 months post-op. So there is still a lot of time for it to heal, but it was a little bit discouraging knowing that it's still fully paralyzed, right? If I overexert myself, which the only time I do that is if we go to the lake. I have to walk up a very small hill, but my oxygen level will go below 90, but otherwise I can keep it above 92 usually. 92 to 95. If you're a nurse or a healthcare professional, you'll understand what that means. Most people who are healthy have an oxygen level of 100%, 98 to 100%. For me, anything below 90 would be, I guess, dangerous. It wouldn't be like imminent death, of course, but below 90 is really concerning. They would probably, if I was below 90 all the time, I'd probably be on oxygen. But I've been able to maintain I did slack on my breathing exercises though, because I had started feeling better, so I assumed that had healed, but apparently I was wrong. It's still totally dead. So yeah, that was pretty disappointing news. Anyway, sorry, I forgot that part when I was updating you about me, because I have it written down on a different date. The one thing that the doctor who did that test is, quiet. The doctor who did that test, he mentioned that my worst central apnea actually might be from my neck, because my neck has been getting worse. So he suggested looking into that. I've had scans of my brain, because central apnea usually originates in the brain. So I've had scans. There's no lesions in my brain. So we know that that's not the cause. But he said if my neck has been getting worse, it could be that those nerves are trapped or impacted in my neck. And that could be why my central events have skyrocketed. So I will bring that to the attention of the other doctors and see if one of them can help figure this out for me, because it does suck. It really does suck. It just zaps all the energy out of me. And it's scary, because if I'm having 30 plus apnea every hour during an 8-hour night, that means my brain is not getting the proper level of oxygen it should. And I'm sure long term, actually I did read that long term it can lead to cognitive decline, and that's something I don't want. I don't want dementia, especially Alzheimer's. My grandma had Alzheimer's, and that was horrible. But anyway, what are some other random things? Something has been bothering me for quite a few weeks, and it just seems to not stop, is the drama. Now, none of the drama has anything to do with me. I'm an outsider. I'm just observing. But everywhere on social media, mostly Facebook, all these Facebook groups, everybody is just going after each other, and it's absolutely ridiculous. You know, I made a comment in my group kind of a few weeks ago, I think, kind of addressing some of that. And, you know, I can't remember what I said, but I was surprised at how many people commented that the drama in the community, even though it has nothing to do with them, it does affect them majorly. It causes anxiety and stress. And I was shocked at how many people felt that way, because that's how I feel. Diamond painting was my escape. It was, it saved me from some really dark times during my injury and my diagnosis and my continued worsening of my health. And it was the one thing that I looked forward to when I woke up. And I couldn't wait when I went to bed to wake up the next day to diamond paint. And I used to spend hours and hours and hours before my injury progressed at diamond painting. And over my 2 years in the diamond painting world, I have to say, I feel like the drama has just skyrocketed. Or maybe I'm just more aware of it now because I'm part of so many groups. And a lot of the Facebook groups, I've turned off all of the notifications. I don't see things in my news feed anymore. If I want to go to the group for some reason, then I can go to the group and I can look at the posts. But as far as publishing on my news feed, I've had to turn quite a few groups off because I got tired of seeing the passive-aggressive posts of certain people calling out other people, you know, one shop owner dissing another shop owner, or attacking creators or attacking other shops. And it was just relentless. And I felt like every day, especially the last 2 weeks, I felt every day there was something new going on. But just because somebody hurt you doesn't mean you have the right to turn around and hurt them. And that's exactly what's happening, is people are just seeking revenge and reaching out to whoever they can to just bring them down and hurt them. And it's just disgusting behavior. I mean, I was thinking last night when my stepson was 2 or 3, he behaved better than some of the people that I encounter today. He was a lot more respectable, and he would never act like this. It's just, I really, that's the other reason I've been putting off filming a WIP and Chat, because I don't really know how to address it. and it's not that I want to address specific things, it's just in general. Why has the community turned into like a war zone? What has gone on that this has happened? Or has it always been like this and I was just blind for a long time in my own little world? Maybe that's it. I don't know. But I've been seeing people posting, general posts, also feeling the same way, that what's going on, what's in the water, what's in the glue is what I want to know. Is there something in the glue that's causing all this friction in the community? Is it just competition between different shops? And, you know, I've heard that a lot of small shops are struggling right now because of the economy. I'm not quite sure, but I have to say I don't like it. It was really affecting me the past week. Every time I would go onto Facebook, there would be a post. And it's not just one group, it's a handful of groups that I would see, something drama related, or, you know, and it would just send my anxiety in a tizzy, because I don't like when people don't get along. I like everybody to get along. And I think that we are all adults and we should be able to get along, but it's not happening. It's I'm kind of left speechless, to be honest. Again, it has nothing to do with me, so that's also why I haven't said anything, but it does affect me, because I found myself not wanting to diamond paint, because when I would bring out my diamond painting, that's all I could think about. And I hadn't diamond painted for a week because of it. And I just thought, that's not right. So I went and I turned off all the notifications for all of the groups. I did leave some groups, which has helped dramatically, actually. This is the first morning that I've actually woken up being like, I want to diamond paint and film a WIP and Chat. But it is something I wanted to talk about, because I think we can do better as a community. You know, I was kind of thinking the other day, yes, Abby. She's very mad at my husband sleeping in. Oh, he's not sleeping in. What time is it? 7:30 in the morning. Where was my train of thought? Let me take a sip of coffee. Abby, shush. I lost my train of thought. What was I saying? The first morning that I wanted to get up and diamond paint. I don't remember, guys. Anyway, I think it's ridiculous. And I think, oh yeah, community. So I had this picture in my head, and I was going to draw the picture, find the picture online, because the image that came to my mind was like Earth or a planet. And I remember this as a kid, and there were stick people along the outside, and they're all holding hands. It had something to do with Earth Day, or, you know, community or something. And when I think of community, that's what I see. I see the world, and I see everybody holding hands, getting along and helping each other. But when I think of the diamond painting community, what I see is that world, and I see all the stick people fighting in an actual war. You know, I see destruction, I see death, I see, it's tough. I see tough stuff. And, you know, that kind of imagery really, you know, made me feel not great. Like, why is that? When I joined the diamond painting community, like I said, it was kind of my, it was the thing I look forward to every day. And I know a lot of people also felt the same way. Yes, quiet. I know a lot of other people felt the same way, but I've kind of watched what I considered my little community kind of explode, implode, be destroyed, blow up. I don't know, whatever visual you can think of. You know, the original kind of people that I used to associate with back in the day kind of fell out, you know. And then another group I associated with, I've watched slowly people have falling outs with each other, and everybody go their separate ways. And I feel like it kind of makes me sad that, you know, the people that I used to enjoy talking to or hang around with or associate with, now everybody's off in their own world. Nobody wants to talk to each other, and everybody's mad at each other. It's just, I hope to cultivate an environment that is nothing like that. I hope to be able to, you know, maintain a respectful community over on my Facebook group, Licensed DP Fans Canada. I'm really proud of that group. There's a lot of members who have been part of it for as long as it's been active, which probably is well over a year now. I can't remember when we started it, but there's a good core group of women that are very active in that group and are great role models for the community. And I'm really proud to call them group members of mine, because that's what I see community as. We help each other, you know. If somebody doesn't have a diamond painting for the event, you know, and we know that maybe they're low income, somebody usually will reach out to me, or they might reach out to the person in general and just say, hey, I've got a diamond painting that I'll send you. What's your address, you know? That's the kind of community that I want, you know. I made a post this morning about my current event that I'm going to be hosting, the Fall Diamond Painting Along, starting September 1st to October 31st. It's going to be any licensed fall, Halloween, or spooky themed diamond painting. And, you know, for my last event, I covered a lot of the shipping costs, but if you've ever shipped things, you know that adds up. And the price packs that I put together for my events are usually well worth in retail over $100. I was going to say $1,000, over $100 Canadian. Most of them close to $150 because the prices of pens these days are so expensive. But I like putting together quality price packs, and I have in the past ate the shipping because I don't want to ask people who win things to pay for shipping. But this time I'm going to, because I've got a lot of prizes, and I've got about 8 diamond paintings to give away. Those are diamond paintings that have been donated by group members, community members, to give away to others, which is astounding. It really is the most giving group I've been a part of, and I'm happy to call my group, you know. But anyway, I reached out regarding the shipping, you know, and everybody was more than happy to pay their cost of shipping, which is amazing. Other people, a couple people have reached out to donate to like a pot for shipping costs as well, which is awesome. And, you know, I'm just really happy with that little group that we created over there. And I wish more groups were like that. You know, when you get into any community, there's going to be, I don't know what you want to call them, cliques or groups, or, you know, often it's friend groups that have met through the community and just created their own group of friends. And, you know, so there are factions is maybe another word for it, throughout the community. And I wish more of us could get along and there was less fighting. I don't know if we will ever see that happen, to be honest, but I hope so. I think, well, see, this is just my opinion, so I think just a lot of people are hurting. I know I heard months back some creators were really struggling with views and numbers and all that stuff, and maybe that's why some creators, you know, have been hurting, and then small shops are finding business slowing down, and maybe that's why people are hurting, and everybody's kind of vying for customers and competition, and maybe that's what it comes down to. But I think that people can compete and still be respectful to each other and kind. And now I'm not, again, these are just my thoughts that I've had over the few weeks. It's not directed at a specific person or a specific group. There are multiple people and multiple groups that I'm kind of referencing, right? It's not one specific thing. I've seen it everywhere over the last couple weeks, and I almost feel like the community is going to completely explode. That's what I vision in my head, right? Which is really sad, because this community has given me so much. But last words, you know, I hope that parts of the community that are hurting right now, people that are hurting for various reasons, I hope that they can heal. I hope they can find peace. You know, I would love to see more kindness, more giving. I would love to see more people get along and, you know, put differences aside. You know, we're all people and we're all just trying to survive, whether we're a shop owner, a creator, just a community member. You know, we all deal with certain things, hardships. All of our hardships matter, and I think the community could do with a lot more kindness and a lot less fighting. I hope to see that. You know, it's really personally kind of, you know, it really got me down this week seeing a couple shop owners really attack each other, and it just makes my heart sad. I don't like seeing that, you know. I've always been a kind person, and you know, I try and think, well, they're hurting, that's why, but it doesn't give people the right to tear other people down, you know. It's not tit for tat or whatever the saying is, you know. I think kindness can heal and kindness can change things. I think just a lot of people are hurting, and there's that saying, hurt people hurt people. Well, okay, that might be true, but it doesn't have to be that way. Hurt people can heal other people. You know, hurt people have been through such hard circumstances that they have grown, they have learned a lot. Instead of hurting other people because you hurt, how about help? Share what you've learned, how you've gotten through your hardships, you know. I think we could all help. If we all helped each other in some way, I just envision the community again around the world, all holding hands, smiling happily, enjoying our diamond painting, enjoying supporting who we want to support without, you know, fear of reprimand. I don't know if that's the right word, but that's what came to mind. Anyway, that's my thoughts on this Sunday morning. You know, the last couple of weeks, I've just seen a lot of hate, and I would love to see a lot more love. I know I need to see that there. I suffer so much in my real life that when I go into my diamond painting world, I don't want to see suffering. You know, it's just when I do that, I tend to pull back and not want to partake, because, you know, when I do diamond paint, then I think of all those hard things going on, right? So instead, this past week, I've actually been reaching for my cross stitch instead. But it's nice to be sitting here doing a whip and chat with y'all, getting some of this painting done. This is a confetti heavy painting. It is absolutely huge. I am doing this because I'm a good daughter. It's actually been kind of fun. I don't think I've ever worked on a, well, no, that's a lie. I did do one kind of landscapey painting, but it was about half this size. I think it was called Milky Way. I don't know. It had an arch in it. I did it for my dad, but I can't wait to see this one come together. It's absolutely awful to manage this size of painting. If you have any tips on how to manage this on like a lap desk diamond painting table, I'd love it. It's really hard for me to roll it because there were the plastic covers off. It's worked on. I would have rather have started the other way so that the width is smaller, but it was started on this way, so I'm kind of continuing it on. I'm going to finish this row, and then I might start at the top and just go across this way. But it's a little hard to roll like this, so I've come down to the coffee table to do some of it, so, but it's not comfortable for me. Anyways, I hope everyone is doing well. I hope everyone is doing okay. Be kind to yourself, be kind to others, and let's keep the community strong. Let's spread kindness and love out there, you know. What is the saying? Spread love, not war, or something. I don't know. Anyways, those are my Sunday thoughts for the morning. My husband is probably going to wake up, and I need another cup of coffee. So I'm going to let you all go. Let me know how you're doing in the comments. Let me know what you are working on. Yeah, whatever you like, let me know in the comments down below. Don't forget to like this video. That really helps with the algorithm. I've unfortunately had to go down to 2 videos a week, and I thought this week would only be 1, but I think I'm going to get 2 videos up again, which is great. Again, my health has been really off the charts, and it's just been really hard to do anything, let alone sit down and film a video. So I appreciate if you got this far. You are awesome. Yeah, I really appreciate everybody who is here, who supports me and my little community over on Facebook. I really appreciate each and every one of you. Again, the fall event starts soon. It starts on September 1st. You can find more info on that in my Facebook group, Licensed DP Fans Canada. The link to that will be in the description box of this video. It's just going to be a fun diamond paint along. I've made it a little bit more casual than initially thought. It doesn't need to be a new start. It does need to be a licensed kit of a fall, Halloween, or spooky diamond painting. Spooky meaning artists like Enz Guerrero, Christopher Lavelle, for example. I'm kind of being lenient because I want to build a community. I want more people who want to join can join, you know. We've got lots of prizes. I've put together some prize packs well worth over $100 each. We've got 8, I think up to 8 diamond paintings, could be more. I have to go through my list that have been donated for the event. We have gift cards. Diamond Art Club's donating 5 $50 gift cards to the event. I think it's going to be amazing, and it's just going to be a fun way for us to build community and paint along with each other. I hope to be able to do those WIP parades again that I did for the summer event, where on YouTube I do a short video of everybody's WIPs. I hope to be able to maintain and do that because I know a lot of you love that. And yeah, looking forward to it. I know a lot of you are. And again, thank you everybody who shows me support. I really appreciate it. Until the next video, happy diamond painting. Bye.